welcome on 360 Sport on Trust TV. I'm Adeni G. Shafer. We're sorry to come behind schedule for that particular stories in the world of sport. We just have to give you those stories now. Well, right now, we look at the first story that has to do with Super Falcons. They had a draw against Lucy of Ethiopia. It was a match that Nigerians were expecting us to win, but it ended in a draw. A tough one for them. Even their coach had to confirm the fact that that wasn't what they expected, but the ladies did their best. But right now, Super Falcons had to push the game to the next one that will be coming up on Tuesday. But looking at that story, Super Falcons, Ethiopia match ends in draw. We have in the studio David Oku will be joining us to talk about this particular story that we'll be looking at together. Well, for Super Falcons, they have the opportunity to turn things around for the fact that that match against Ethiopia was not a good outing for them. It was a tough one. Could it be to the weather? Could it be to the fact that the ladies underrated Ethiopia, or Ethiopia were just equal to the task? Those questions are meant for David Oku. Good to have you in the studio.
Yeah, it's my pleasure to be here, Ajisafe. My pleasure to be here, and greetings to the viewers too. Yes, not a good outing for us. A lot of maladministration heading into the game. The coach was not even present for the game, like we saw. So who doesn't have a coach on the touchline when the coach is not suspended or, on compassionate leave? So it goes a long way, to say the situation that we currently find ourselves in. It's not ideal at the moment, and I hope that that is resolved as soon as possible. Now to the football. Yes, we didn't get the ebb and flow as much as we would have loved. The girls didn't, hit the ground running. Before, I think 6 minutes on the clock, we were go down. And unfortunately, Rashida Tajibade pulled us level. Yes, in the dying minutes of the game, we got a goal through from our Nomunu, but it was not enough as the goal was ruled out. I don't know why that goal didn't stand. It should have been given because it was clear. It was a clear goal. She was onside. But having said that, I believe that on Tuesday, the girls must have had enough rest. The game was played yesterday, and today I hope that they are back. They are back, and in Abuja here, they can rest a little bit, then start training and build up to Tuesday, because it's going to be a cracker. It's the road to Paris 2024. We haven't been at the Olympics in the previous editions, so we need to be there this time around. We need to represent. I think the guys are not going for the Olympics. The Dream Eagles or the Olympic Eagles, they are not going for the Olympics. They've missed out.
So our ladies should be able to
our ladies, yes, they have the opportunity to do that, and they have to win and win convincingly.
Now, looking at this squad, let me cut you there. Looking at this particular squad that played against Ethiopia yesterday, a lot of people expect something wonderful from them, but it wasn't the way we expected that game. In fact, the first half, it was a tough one because Ethiopia led all through. It was the second half that we were able to get that goal, cuts of Rashida Ajibade. That game, what did you see that went wrong? Could it be the fact that Randy Wadron that they were used to was not on ground, or because I learned from someone that the altitude, the weather of Ethiopia can be a bit, could it be weather? Or could it be that Ethiopia defeated Nigeria probably 10-0, both home and away? Could it be that they've arrived, joining the biggest on the continent, or what?
I don't think so. When results do not go our way, there seems to be a lot of,
permutations here and there
about what could have happened, what could have led to this, whether high altitude, this, that. These players are used to high altitude. They are used to weather conditions that are unfavorable. They're even used to playing on a banana pitch, so it's nothing new to them. The girls can play football. We need to give credit to the Ethiopians. They played their life out because they too want to be at the Olympics. So we need to understand that fact that you don't just walk into a game because you are Super Falcons and feel you come away with a victory. You need to work hard for it. We were disjointed. If you look at the personnel, some of them played out of position. The midfield was light. Christy Uchebe was absent in the game too. So we hope that on Tuesday in Abuja, we can get our act together. We can get that little bit of stability in the game, and the selections, can favor how we want to go about our business, so we can gain a measure of control in the middle of the park.
Well, but really, Nigerians are not too happy with that performance from Super Falcons, but we just hope that they can wrap things up before Tuesday and give us a better one. Because if you look at it, I think that was another version, with all due respect to Super Eagles. That was like Super Eagles style of play, because Super Eagles have not been performing to the level that we want. But for our ladies, we have always been very happy for the fact that they always give us that joy whenever they play any team. But that yesterday's game, maybe I see that as a bit kind of complacency, kind of.
Like I said, let's take nothing away from the Ethiopians. They gave their all and expect a battle in Abuja on Tuesday. But our girls, with the experience they've garnered and the level they have attained, I hope that they can come into the game with the A mentality that from the word go, they are going to put the Ethiopians on the back foot and gain a measure of control, especially in the middle of the park, and we will supply the balls to the forward lines for them to do the damage. Players like Asisat Oshola, Gift Monday, former Onumunu, all these players need supply, and when they get the right service, they can do the damage.
And the names you mentioned, Asisat Oshola yesterday, with the experience, with the achievement with Barcelona, with everything she has achieved on the continent and also European football, seems not to be in that game.
Sometimes players could drift in and out of games for various reasons. As I said, it is one player, when you look at her on the field of play, you expect magic to happen because of the level she has attained and because of what she does in the game. She's a goal scorer and a devastating one at that. Supply her and she will score. Aside from that, she also does the hard work for the team. She defends when it's time for defensive set pieces and on the offensive too. So there's no way I can look at her and take my eye off. If she's in the game, then leave her in the game. Even at the 90th minute, Asisat can still do something. Yes.
Good one coming from David Oku, who's with us on the show. 364 on Trust TV. Right now, we talk about our ladies. They fought hard against Ethiopia yesterday, but at least they still have the chance to turn things around in the second leg that will be coming up at the MK Abiola Stadium on Tuesday. Right now, we move away from football because our ladies, they fought hard yesterday. Now, let's talk about MBBF League taking place across Nigeria, 4 centers, but we give you results in 3 centers across Nigeria. There are results from Ibadan, Abuja, and also Asaba. Let's look at those results. First of all, from Ibadan Center, Ebu Comet, they defeated Ondo Raiders 67-44. Impressions gave a good impression against Invaders, who couldn't invade them, 73-65. It ended there. Kora Falcons, defending champion, got defeated by Oluyole Warriors 58-67 in that game. That was the first loss for that team. Actually defending champion of the league. That's the result coming from Ibadan. Let's go to come to Abuja result. We look at Kada Stars. They lost against Niger Porters, who actually molded them to their own form, 68-56. Nigerian Customs showed their class, where their Nigerian Customs, they customized Canopilas by 9 extra points, 79-17. And Bauchi Net, the Nets actually was leaking as Nile University was able to score 60 against 54, getting those results from Abuja Center. And we flipped it over to Asaba Center, where Delta Force show why they are Delta Force wrapping up Raptor 69-82-69 as Lagos Legends. The Legends were not legendary enough. They lost against Rivers Hoopers. We know they have the experience when it comes to playing basketball. You don't doubt that performance from them. Rivers Hoopers, one of the dominant force from just 2 years ago, thereabout. They are still one of the forces to be reckoned when it comes to basketball in Nigeria. So, defeating Lagos Legends. Dave, what do you see about this?
Yeah, good result for them. Good result for them. It's befitting of their status, like you've said. And from here on, they can go on with confidence. It's a good result across the grounds in Asaba, in Abuja, and other areas. So good results pouring in there from the NBBF.
Well, good result coming from the NBF League there. Well, for NBA, you'll be getting that result by the time sports update comes up later. Now, let's look at football. Big one happened also yesterday. We have a Champions League Group E, F, G, H play their matches, match day 3. And we look at result from Group E and also the table. Look at it side by side. Feyenoord defeated Lazio by 3-1, where Jimenez scoring 2 goals there. A brace and Ziroki adding 1. And you have Pedro at least pulling one back, cut off 83rd minute penalty. You have Celtic playing 2-2 draw against Atletico Madrid. Griezmann who actually scored in 23 minutes alongside Morata. And you have Furuhashi and Palma getting those goals for Celtic in their own game in Group E. And you look at the way the table is in Group E, it shows that Feyenoord are topping that group with 6 points after playing 3 matches, followed by Atletico Madrid, who actually shared a point against Celtic. Lazio standing tall with 4 points, and Celtic from Scotland, they have just a point. Well, Dave, you look at yesterday when you were talking about this, it seems some of the teams actually listen to you.
Yes, absolutely. At Celtic Park, it's not always an easy game for the opponent going there. And if Celtic take the lead against you, you might need to work your socks off. You know, you need to work it up to get something out of the game. They were leading. Atletico had to come back and equalize. Despite Atletico Madrid being in fine form, they still found it very tough to get going at Celtic Park. The boys, once they are in the groove and the fans and everything, it becomes difficult. But it's a solitary point for Celtic so far in the competition. They could have loved more, but half a loaf is better than no bread, so they'll take the 1 point. They are still in it after 3 matches gone. Let's see how they can fare at the atmosphere at the Wanda Metropolitano Stadium in some weeks' time when the Atletico Madrid will host them. Atletico may be slightly disappointed with the way they went about their business, you know, last night against Celtic, but again, you cannot win it, or can you?
You can't win it all. Coming from David there, we're giving you updates concerning the UEFA Champions League games played in Group E. Now, let's look at Group F. Games were also played, and we look at the fact that Newcastle United shockingly lost at St. James Park against Borussia Dortmund, who actually scored Kostilov in Mencha in the 45th minute, and that was it. The icing on the cake for Borussia Dortmund, who came from Germany. They bulldozed their way over there in England and dislodged Newcastle United. Paris Saint-Germain 3-0 against AC Milan. That was a good big one because David was saying it's going to be a fight to finish, but right now it seems the fight went towards PSG side and they were able to win 3-0. Cuts of Mbappe, Kolomwani and Lee Kan-hin in that 89th, 53rd and 32nd minute. Look at the way the table is standing. Shows that PSG are topping that group with 6 points from 3 games after playing and winning 2. They lost 1. Borussia Dortmund are second with 4 points alongside Newcastle despite that loss. They've done the business early, still helping them. AC Milan are now down the log. Dave, what's happening here?
Well, it's a keenly contested group. So tough in Group F.
This group is very, very tough.
Very tough. You know, I told you about Newcastle and Borussia Dortmund yesterday and how Newcastle have been informed. They are the top scorers in the league this season in the Premier League. So a fantastic show in there. But Borussia Dortmund also have got a lot of firepower. Marco Reus in the side, Mecha in the side, the guy who's brought in to replace Jude Bellingham. So they've got a lot of good players, you know, and it was always a matter of time. They could have scored earlier through Marlon, but the goalkeeper Nick Pope made a super double save. Newcastle themselves had a lot of opportunities. They even struck the underside of the bar and Gordon missed
the night was just
chances.
not their night.
Yeah, not just their night, but on the balance of play, if you put 2 and 2 together and everything, I think Borussia Dortmund just about deserved their win. A 1-0 win in a tough game, you know, at the Sports Direct Arena.
And considering the fact that Newcastle United right now, at least this is a team that you can't take anything away from them. They've been fantastic since last 2-3 seasons. But this time around against Borussia, a lot of people expected them to win at home, at Wolves, no matter how St. James Park is here, at least their stronghold when it comes to football, but it didn't go well the way they planned it.
Yeah, it didn't. So let's see what they can do in some weeks' time away at the Westfalen Stadium. Borussia Dortmund are a tough side to go away and play, but having won here in England, they'll be full of confidence and buoyed by the fact that, okay, we can come over and beat you. Then let's see what you got when you come over here. But Newcastle have done so well for themselves in the Champions League so far. You know, it's poised in that group. It's so tight, 6-4-4-2, like recharge card numbers. So at the end of the day, nobody wants to drop any points. I believe this group will go down to the wire until match day 6. A
big one for Group F. Looking at that particular one, PSG topping that group there with 6 points ahead, and you have Borussia Dortmund, Newcastle, and AC Milan trailing. It's still very open. They have matches to play. We wait to see what happens in the next edition of their games. Now let's talk about another group. We are right now on Group G, where games were also played. As we look at Red Star Belgrade, they also have a different name when it comes to football. Stamenik scoring for them. They lost against RB Leipzig. Kostilov, Simons, and Olmo, who scored those 3 goals for them to make it 3-1. While young boys, they were not young enough as experience count for Manchester City. Akanji scoring for them and Erling Haaland making it a brace 67 and 86 minutes to silence the young boys from Switzerland 3-1. I'm sure A lot of fans of Manchester City are so happy for the fact that they dislodged Swiss team in an away game. Let's go straight to the table as it is right now. Man City, they've made it 3 out of 3, 9 points. They've won all 3. What goes for 9? They only consider 3, having a goal difference of 6. RB Leipzig of Germany, they have 6 points, followed by Young Boys, and you have Red Star Belgrade with another special name, Crvena Zvezda.
Yeah, Crvena Zvezda, Red Star Belgrade, one of the sides that won the Champions League in the early 90s. I think it was in 1990 or 1991 or thereabout, the side from the former Yugoslavia. So they're a tough side at home to play against, but this time around, they've been beaten blue-black in the Champions League by RB Leipzig. A good result for Leipzig. It puts them in a favorable position. Then to Young Boys, I told you about the Switzerland game being difficult to play there. There was an equalizer by Young Boys, so the game was in the balance until Erling Haaland, stepped up the gas to score the double to give Manchester City all 3 points. Well, it prompted Pep Guardiola to say he's worried about Erling Haaland, despite the fact the player scored 2 goals. How can you be worried about me when I scored 2 on the night?
You know the way Guardiola always want to play in the intelligence of the other team. He knows that other teams are also ready to see how they can hold on to Manchester City.
Is he psyching you up for Sunday?
He's already, yes, you know what he's doing. That's someone that he did that when he was in Barcelona.
Yes.
Bayern Munich is fond of playing mind games. You know what he's doing by saying that particular statement.
Well, Man United need to be on the watch out.
But seriously, it's going to be a big one for them. But for Manchester City, maybe as we're saying, I'm sure you were already tipping Real Madrid. Are you going to be tipping Manchester City now for the cup?
Well, Manchester City are one of the favorites to win the Champions League alongside Real Madrid this season and Bayern Munich. Yes, they are the teams, with quality and the teams that are playing well at the moment. Take nothing away from that. But as the competition progresses, maybe new favorites could pop up. We are still in the preliminary stages, and yes, we are seeing the teams here. But who knows? We could have a new champion at the end of the day. Who knows? Okay,
aside Madrid, Manchester City, which other team would you think will actually pop up among all the remaining teams?
Well, there is always a Barcelona in the mix, Okay,
maybe I should use that opportunity to actually throw this band against you. You are talking about Barcelona, and I know you are a Manchester United fan.
Well, yes.
What a mix there.
I can wear any jersey.
Just to cover up for Man United fans out there. They want to throw some arrows at you. Anyway, or throw some bands in the studio. When they see a Manchester United fan wearing a Barcelona jersey, something's actually up there. They know how to do the business. Really. Just throwing some bands there. But quickly, let's look at Group H. Games are also playing Group H. Let's look at it back to back from results. So the table in Group H there. Well, as we're waiting for the Group H, is actually there. Well, we're looking for Group H now. We are waiting for it. But you see, this year's Champions League seems to be a bit boisterous because you see teams that are surprising everyone. There are some teams you see that you don't even expect that they will perform.
Yes, there's always an element of surprise up in the Champions League. Some of the teams might step it up, some might just be there. The main thing will happen when the draws are done in December for the round of 16. You might see predictions, okay, this is going to knock this one off. But when the round of 16 come around in February, you see that some teams have been knocked out, and those you predicted were going to go through will fall by the wayside. But I believe that the likes of Bayerns, the Real Madrids, the Barcelonas of this world, will be there or thereabout. PSGs are there. PSG's win against AC Milan was a good win for them. At least it puts them in a fine position because they know they go to Italy, in some weeks' time to play, and maybe any result there, they might consolidate with their home form. A team that now is united. If they had failed to win against Copenhagen, they could have kissed their Champions League aspirations goodbye. But thankfully for them, Andre Onana stepped up to save that penalty.
The two rejected their players.
Good gracious me.
Well, we just quickly look at that Group H. Now, let's go back to the result before we look at the table. Barcelona 2-1 against Shakhtar Donetsk. Sudakov scoring for Shakhtar in the 62nd minute. Torres and Lopez making it 2 goals, 28 and 36 minutes. For Real Antwerp Belgium, it was a whitewash coming from FC Porto. They got really angry by scoring 4-1. Al-Hassan Yusuf from Nigeria scoring this goal for Antwerp first, and that goal sparked reaction from FC Porto. Someone said, if Yusuf had known, he should have scored that goal. And now Dilima Barbosa got a hat-trick, but Boza make it 46, 69, 84, and you have Estagio making it another goal there to be 4-1 against Royal Antwerp. A big one.
Yeah, a massive victory for Porto away from home. Porto are traditionalists, a side that has won the Champions League on more than one occasion. So they are a good side in Europe, always competitive. You saw last time where they were up against Inter. Inter went on to the final, but they knocked Porto en route to the final. It was a tough game. Onana had to save lots of shots for Inter to go through. So I'm not surprised by this result from Porto. Porto are always a very good side and a tough side to play. But what a victory for Barcelona. 3 out of 3 against Shakhtar Donetsk, 2-1. Shakhtar came back into the game, but Barca had a lot of firepower to dislodge the Ukrainians. It was a good victory for Xavi and his men at the end of the day.
Now, like I said earlier, Yusuf Al-Hassan scoring that goal, and it's as if it actually ignited a fire from Porto.
Yes,
Barbosa getting to score a hat-trick, and they went on rampage. Why would you score first?
when you sting the tail of
is it a tiger or a cobra?
A cobra. So you be ready for what you want. Be careful what you wish for, is the adage.
Seriously, FC Porto seems to be having it right now. They did well against Royal Antwerp of Belgium there. Let's look at how the table is in that group H. A big one there for that particular group there. Barcelona still top with 9.3 out of 3. They scored 8 goals and won against them, making it 7 in goal difference. FC Porto, they played 3 matches, they won 2, they lost 1, and they scored 7 goals, they conceded 3, and they have 4 as goal difference of 6 points. Shakhtar Donetsk of Ukraine, they have just 20 points from 3 matches, and Royal Antwerp are yet to get 1 after playing 3 matches. They lost out the 3, conceded 12 goals. Seriously, they scored only 3 goals out of the 12 goals conceded, so they have a -9. What
au revoir for them. Bye-bye. Otilo is finished for them. Seriously. In the Champions League. Maybe they will be looking forward to making it into the Europa League, but they need to start picking up points, and I don't see that happening because Porto hosts them at the Drago in the return fixture, so it's very difficult for them. I think Royal Antwerp are all but done.
So in this match day 3 Champions League, which team actually impresses most?
Real Madrid impressed me with their victory at Braga. Jude Bellingham continued to pour in the goods for Los Blancos. Yes, Barcelona did impress me too. Bayern Munich did well by winning at Galatasaray. Before that game, Gala didn't lose at home in 17 matches. So Bayern went there and swept them away. So good result there. On the other side that impressed me, Manchester City, a good side too.
You didn't mention PSG, AC Milan. That 3 goal was not an expected result.
I was coming to them. Yeah, I think they did well. It's the first time I've really seen Ousmane Dembélé express himself. He did so well for PSG. And then Kylian Mbappe, you know what we expect from Mbappe. Colomwani, the guy who was in Germany, signed by PSG, the French striker too on the score sheet. So happy times for Luis Enrique. You know, he was a happy man on the night after that victory at the Parc des Princes. Another impressive victory was Borussia Dortmund against Newcastle United. Manchester United, nothing impressive about their performance, but of course a more than welcome result.
Well, especially considering the fact that Harry Maguire and Onana were the one that actually saved them this round. You know, like I said yesterday, they are fast becoming rejected stone, but they were able to turn things around to become cornerstone.
Yes, much maligned and deservedly so, because their performances has not been up to scratch. Maguire himself cannot, you know, hold himself and say I've performed well. But in the recent weeks, we are beginning to see Maguire do well. We're beginning to see him, you know, return back to default, the Maguire that is hard to beat, the Maguire that heads well, the Maguire that defends well. We are beginning to see that again, and this comes with the trust and confidence the coach has. Sometimes they say injuries might turn out to be a blessing for the team, because someone is injured now, Maguire can come in and play. Not that he wasn't playing before for Man United. He was playing in the odd games, but now as a preferred choice, he needs to work so hard to keep his place, and I believe that he has turned the corner. Onana too hasn't done well, error strewn in the games he has kept. Ten Hag said in his pre-match conference that Onana needs to perform, and that provided an opportunity for him to redeem himself, and oh my word, he went down low to save that. So good one for both of them. This will, give them confidence to approach the upcoming games, with a lot of smile and confidence.
A good one there. We've been looking at just a wrap-up of UEFA Champions League games that were played during just 2 days back-to-back. A big one there for the likes of Real Madrid, PSG, Barcelona, Manchester United, and also not forgetting Borussia Dortmund, who really came calling against Newcastle United at St. James Park there. That's a wrap on the show. 360 Sport on Trust TV with David Oku. Good to have you on the show.
Yeah, always a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Good one there. I'm Adeni Ajishafe. Thanks for watching.